Hey guys, welcome back to a quick impressions video here to talk about Streets of Rage 4, a game that came out this year and I was able to enjoy it on day one thanks to the Xbox Game Pass service. This is the type of game that, I might have bought it, down the road in the future for a heavily discounted price, but hey, it was part of the subscription service of Game Pass, and I was pleasantly surprised when I heard the game was going to be available on day one. So I was able to play this not only by myself, but also with a good friend here on YouTube, Leo the Funny Nerd. We beat the game together via co-op, and then I also played the game a couple of stages here and there by myself. So I have to say, in advance that I grew up as a Nintendo kid. So I'm not I guess super knowledgeable on the Streets of Rage series, even though I did play them back in the day, and even recently, leading up to the release of the game, I fired up the Sega Genesis collection on Steam, which has all the old school Streets of Rage games. So yeah, I mean, this is an iconic beat 'em up game that finally has a modern release, and that I think for the most part this is a very well done I guess reimagining of the series. It's not a reimagining because the game actually follows the story, and it's a sequel to the other games, and you can even play with all some of the old or the original characters. I think Axel and Blaze were part of the older games, and then the game also has new characters and the ability to unlock other characters as you progress through the game, including some like skins for like the 16-bit like old school look. So that adds to the replay value of the game. But story-wise, as I was mentioning, this kind of follows up on the previous games, and that's a pretty cool thing. But I think talking about graphics, I think that's kind of like, to me, was the shining point of the game. The graphics in this game look fantastic. This game was developed by Dotemu and published by them as well. So I was kind of surprised, I thought the game would have some other publisher, but for them to develop this game in the way they did, I think it's great, because the graphics, they look very colorful, and they pay a very good homage. It's a modern version of what the old games are, basically. And the graphics are very crisp. The neon lights, that 90s theme was captured in such a very well fashion that this game was eye candy from the first level to the last level. Really very colorful, very well presented, very detailed graphics. It was just a joy to play this game and look at it, and coupled with very fluid animations, and the animations not only of your characters but the enemies as well, made up for a very enjoyable visual experience. In terms of the soundtrack, I think this game also had a very appropriate soundtrack. I'm not really sure if the themes are based on older, I guess, songs or themes about this game. I'm assuming they are in a way, but it was a very enjoyable soundtrack for the most part. And then the gameplay is an area where I have mixed feelings. If you are familiar with the older games, then you'll feel right at home. I mean, this is a very just mashing that attack button to have quick combos. The game does offer, just like the original ones too. You can have like a special attack, and this particular game, or just like the older games, you can also jump to get out of the way or dodge out of the way. But this game also has like this back kick feature that it's pretty helpful when trying to trying to break up the attack from someone coming from behind. And then it has a super like special attack that you have to collect stars in order to use these attacks that deal special attacks that deal a lot of damage to the enemies, that are very useful during boss battles. But even though the gameplay, it's very similar to the original ones, which is a good thing, at the same time, there are dated components to the gameplay that really frustrated me. Some of the hitboxes or the planes, because obviously you can move up and down with your character. Sometimes aligning to be on the same plane was a little bit of a frustrating thing going on. And of course, you know, the enemies, sometimes the way they hit you, it feels very, very unfair. Some of the boss battles in this game, you know, me and Leo were complaining a lot because they had all this invincibility frames that are just not fair, obviously. And some of the attacks, they give you very little time to get out of the way. There's no dodge button, which I think it would have been cool if they added that as a sort of modern mechanic, if you will. You know, jumping out of the way is the way to go in order to avoid some of the long range attacks of the bosses or the enemies. But the problem is that your character moves so slowly, and it doesn't matter if you pick like a quick character like Blaze, for example. I think all the characters overall are fairly slow, and sometimes getting out of the way is a little bit frustrating. But you know, overall, I had a lot of fun with this game. It's not the type of game that I would buy on day one, but I was very happy to see this being offered through the Game Pass service. I know it's a very, very short game, but again, it has a lot of replay value to unlock new characters and new skins and whatnot. The game also has very varying difficulty levels, which me and Leo played this on normal, and we thought it was quite challenging. You know, we find ourselves repeating a couple of the stages because of the boss. Some of the boss battles in this game depleted our lives or end continues, however you want to call them, and we had to repeat the stage from the beginning. But overall, it was an enjoyable experience. Can't complain for you know, being included for the Game Pass service. But even if you don't have a Game Pass service and you guys are a fan of the genre, or obviously fans of the original games, this is definitely a worthy game to check out. Obviously, I think it checks a lot of the boxes that the original fans you know, will appreciate for this game. Very fun game, highly recommended. Again, if you're a fan of the original games, you'll find a lot of enjoyment out of it. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.